Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to a special breaking broadcast that has sent shockwaves not just through Zayed Sports City, but across the entire tennis world. We are live, we are deep in the action, and we are witnessing another defining chapter unfold at the Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open. If you thought the early rounds of this WTA 500 event were simply warm-ups, if you believe the script was written for higher-ranked players to cruise smoothly into the final stages, then Abu Dhabi, and indeed the entire tennis community, has been forced to rethink everything. Because what is happening right now is not routine tournament progression. It is a collision of momentum, resilience, and raw ambition. A storyline is developing that could define this entire Middle East swing of the season. We're talking about the meeting of two very different but equally dangerous forces. On one side stands a rising phenomenon, the pride of the Philippines, a young player who is not just competing on tour, but carrying the hopes and dreams of an entire nation with every swing of her racket, Alex Eala. And on the other side stands a battle-tested contender, a player who knows exactly what it means to grind through seasons, rebuild form, and strike when the moment demands, Ekaterina Alexandrova. The headline tonight feels simple, yet layered with tension. Abu Dhabi is watching closely because this is not just another quarterfinal. This is a clash between momentum and experience, between a player riding a breakthrough wave and another who has built her reputation on consistency at the highest level. The path to the semifinals is now defined by this meeting, and the question echoing around the stadium is clear. Who survives this collision? Who takes one more step toward the final weekend? Let's set the scene before diving deeper. The atmosphere in Abu Dhabi is electric. The Filipino support inside the stadium has grown louder with every match Eala wins. Flags wave. Chants echo. Energy flows through the stands in a way rarely seen outside Grand Slam environments. But this story is not just about crowd energy. It is about performances under pressure. Alexandra Eala arrives into this quarterfinal after producing one of the most dramatic matches of the tournament so far. In her second-round clash against Aleksandra Sasnovich, she was 1 point away from trailing 0-5 in the deciding set. 1 point from what could have been a near-impossible comeback scenario. But the 20-year-old refused to fade. Instead, she ignited one of the most memorable turnarounds of the week, fighting back to win 2-6, 6-4, 7-6 late into the evening session, keeping Filipino fans on the edge of their seats. That victory did more than just push her into another quarterfinal. It reinforced something we have been seeing for over a year now. Alexandra Eala is not intimidated by big moments. She's fueled by them. Alongside that comeback victory, she also secured a straight sets win over Zeynep Sonmez earlier in the event. Those results together have now placed her into her third quarterfinal of the season and her second on the main WTA Tour this year. That consistency is not accidental. It is the continuation of a breakthrough period that began last season when she captured the WTA 125 title in Guadalajara, reached the final in Eastbourne, and stunned the tennis world with a semifinal run in Miami. That Miami run alone rewrote expectations. Victories over top-level opponents, including Madison Keys and IGA Swiatek, announced her arrival on the global stage. Since then, the narrative around Eala has shifted. She is no longer just a promising young talent. She's becoming a legitimate threat deep into tournaments. Across the net, however, stands a player built for these stages. Ekaterina Alexandrova entered Abu Dhabi under a different kind of spotlight. She arrived carrying a 3-match losing streak from the Australian swing, including a tough 3-set defeat to Zeynep Sonmez in Melbourne. For some players, that kind of run can damage confidence. But Alexandrova responded the way experienced contenders do. In her opening match in Abu Dhabi, she delivered a dominant statement performance, dismantling Diana Yastremska 6-3, 6-0 in just over an hour. That match served as a reminder of exactly who Alexandrova is when she finds rhythm, aggressive, precise, and relentless. And we cannot forget the bigger picture. Last season, Alexandrova was one of the most consistent performers on tour. That consistency pushed her into the top 10 for the first time in October. She reached nearly a dozen quarterfinals across the season, building a reputation as one of the most reliable deep-run players on tour. Her quarterfinal record last season tells the story perfectly. She went 8-3 at that stage. That means she reached more WTA semifinals last year than at any other point in her career. That is not coincidence. That is a pattern. Interestingly, her breakthrough semifinal run in the Middle East came only last year in Doha at the Qatar Open. That experience matters. She understands these conditions, these surfaces, and the physical demands of these tournaments. So now we arrive at the tactical and emotional collision point. Eala enters with momentum and belief. She has won 3 of her 4 career WTA quarterfinals, all within the last 12 months. Her only loss at this stage came against Janice Jen in Sao Paulo last September. That means statistically, when she reaches quarterfinals, she usually finds another level. Alexandrova enters with experience and proven consistency. She knows how to manage the pressure of expectations. She knows how to handle matches where every point feels heavier. This is youth versus seasoned confidence. But it is not that simple, because Eala is no longer just playing with youthful energy. She is playing with experience built quickly through high-level matches. And Alexandrova is not just relying on history. She is still producing elite-level tennis. The court conditions in Abu Dhabi add another layer. Outdoor hard courts here tend to reward clean ball striking, but also demand physical endurance, especially in evening sessions when humidity rises and rallies become longer. This could create a fascinating dynamic. Alexandrova's aggressive baseline hitting thrives when she controls tempo early. Eala's game thrives when rallies extend, when she can construct points and use angles. The mental dimension might be the true battleground. Eala has shown she can survive emotional roller coasters inside matches. Saving herself from a potential 0-5 deficit in a deciding set is not just physical resilience. It is mental steel. Alexandrova, meanwhile, brings the calmness of someone who has played and won countless matches at this level. She has seen pressure before. She has solved problems mid-match before. For Eala, this quarterfinal represents another step in her rapid climb through professional tennis. Every win pushes her closer to higher seeding positions in major tournaments. Every deep run strengthens her reputation as one of the most exciting rising players on tour. For Alexandrova, this match is about reaffirmation, about reminding the tour that consistency is power. That experience still matters, that she belongs in the later rounds of big tournaments. When you step back, what we are witnessing is more than just a quarterfinal. It is a snapshot of women's tennis evolution, the new generation pushing forward, the established contenders refusing to step aside. The beauty of a WTA 500 event is exactly this. There are no easy rounds. Every match feels like a final for someone. If this match follows the patterns both players have shown recently, expect momentum swings. Expect long rallies mixed with sudden aggressive bursts. Expect a match that tests not just skill but belief. And that is why the stadium feels different tonight. Because everyone senses this is not routine. This is a moment where careers continue to shape themselves in real time. As we look toward the final stages of this tournament, one thing is certain. Whoever wins this quarterfinal will not just earn a semifinal spot. They will earn it through a battle that could define their season trajectory. So, ladies and gentlemen, tennis fans from Manila to Moscow, from Abu Dhabi to every corner of the tennis world, stay tuned. Because this is the kind of match that reminds us why we watch this sport. The pressure is real, the stakes are rising, and the story is still being written. The Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open continues to deliver drama, and right now, Alexandra Eala and Ekaterina Alexandrova stand at the center of it. The court is ready, the crowd is ready, and now, the tennis world is watching.